There's room for everything in pro wrestling.
Give me 2 hours on TBS with this crew, and we'll take Raw down.
When's the last time we were truly worked?
Like TLC, it's just overdone. And Hell in the Cell's going the way of that too.
It's whatever at this point. Goldberg's in the Hall of Fame. That made it irrelevant at that point.
So that's your soundbite right there, folks.
Well, Rammer Jammer, hey, where's my sledgehammer? Because it's time to enter the chamber tonight here on the Bammer Slammer. If you're watching us live on our Twitch channel, which is twitch.tv/SmackDraw, well, thank you so much for watching us. Leave us some comments in the chat. We'll shout you out. We'll tell everybody what you're saying. If you're watching us on our YouTube channel, give us a like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to click that bell so every time we post a new video, you'll get notified immediately. Welcome tonight to the Bammer Slammer. I am your host, BamaDave, and we're excited to have you guys tonight. Also, if you're listening to us on a podcast platform, we're pretty much on all of them now. So whatever one you prefer, just leave us a comment, leave us a 5-star rating, and we will get back. We appreciate it. Your comments, we'll get back to you. We'll respond. Anytime we get a comment, we always love to respond to it. But as I said, tonight we are previewing Elimination Chamber, which means it's time for some Check Your Temperature. So let me introduce you to the esteemed panel that's going to go inside the chamber with me tonight. First of all, over here to my right, he is one of the co-hosts here on the SmackDraw brand. You can hear him and Kyle recap You can hear him and Kyle recap the week of wrestling on the Rewind, which airs every weekend, and you can check out his Mute RN videos, which drop on our YouTube channel. He's the Dog Kennel Master, the Mean Jelly Bean Mixer, the man of 1,000 rants, and the Triple H to my HBK. It's time to play the RN game. RN, how you doing tonight, man?
I'm doing awesome, and the best intro from the most professional wrestling podcaster.
You are too kind.
Hot. Let's go, bro.
Tip of the hat to you. You are too kind, my friend. Real quick, RN, what's going on real quick with the Dog Kennel business and Mean Jelly Bean? What you got going on right now?
Mean Jelly Bean, we actually just did a couple new songs for Valentine's Day. We didn't really do a video for one, but we posted out a couple videos. We got some stuff jumping for spring break. And I actually got 2 litters on the ground right now. I got a bully litter and a Frenchie litter coming, so we always busy. I'm literally, me or my brothers up to our neck in dog shit 90% of the time. So,
all right, and then directly below RN down there in the bottom corner, from the Music City of Nashville, Tennessee, he's the host of the Botched and Chair Shots podcast. He's a diehard Tennessee Titans fan. He's a curator of the cuisines. Please welcome back to the Bammer Slammer. He's a chef by trade, but he's a mark by choice. The chef is back in the house. Will Gray. Will, good evening, man.
Dave, thanks for having me, Bubba. How are you?
I'm doing great, dude. So, I'm sorry your Titans didn't get as far this year as you wanted them to, but were you happy with the Rams' victory, or were you pulling for the Bengals?
No, I was 1,000% pulling for the Rams. Anybody who eliminated the Titans is just out. 100%. No chance.
Yeah, I was about to say, after the beatdown the Bengals put on the Titans, which should not have happened, I bet you were so mad about that.
Yeah, it's great when your quarterback plays 17 great games, and then the one that matters, he decides to, mess the bed.
Unbelievable.
But, yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. And directly right below me on the screen, for those of you that are listening on the screen, he's hailing from the Empire State of New York. He's the voice of the Tristen Law Show, where you can be introduced to personalities in and out of the pro wrestling ring. In addition to being a host and a certified foodie, he's also a very talented pro wrestler with a degree from the 3D Wrestling Academy and a master's degree in the Back to the Future franchise. Welcome back to the Bammer Slammer. This is Tristen Law. Tristen, welcome back, sir.
Hey, man, thanks for having me back. It's a pleasure to have you with me in my house, because it's like you guys are all in my house tonight. So welcome to my house. I got to put on the red lights, and this show has a theme. The theme is beards and hats. We all are bearded fellows.
Yep.
We all have hats. And I'm excited to break down the Elimination Chamber with you guys tonight.
That's a running thing with SmackDraw, man.
It really is.
That's our costume.
Funny enough, I never wore hats hardly ever until this show, because I didn't want to feel left out. So, I was like, I'm just going to make it part of the gimmick. I'll just be BamaDave, who always wears the Bama hat.
I'm a hat and a shoe fanatic, so I probably own over 40 hats. So
awesome.
I'm a big hat guy.
Yeah. I think I may own 5, if that.
Yeah. I just have one, and this is it.
What part of New York are you from, Tristen?
Well, I grew up in New York City, but now I live in the Hudson Valley.
Oh,
So I
okay.
live close to like Poughkeepsie and
Gotcha.
that area.
Like upstate.
Yeah, no. I'm not upstate. We downstate. Upstate's
Downstate.
like Kingston. That's still an hour away.
Gotcha. Okay.
gotcha.
From down.
Yeah. Well, that's where my family's from. My brother actually lives in man, my brother actually just moved to Brooklyn about a year or so ago, but he was from Harlem or whatever. He grew up there, and then my pops is from there, and I mean that's why I'm repping the Knicks gear and everything. I'm in Ohio.
There you
Okay.
go.
It's still close enough.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I'm excited to have you guys again tonight. And hey, welcome to the chat. I see Marie Shadows is here. Marie, how you doing, girl?
What's
and
up, woman?
I think Will, I think your producer's in the chat. Alice?
Allison?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I think that's her. Yeah. So I'm glad she tagged along. Yeah, by the way, guys, if you're watching us on the chat right now, share the video. Let everybody know we're live. Get them in here. We'd love to chat with as many of y'all as we can while we get ready to preview Elimination Chamber. First of all, going around the horn, it's in Saudi this year. Saudi has gotten the Greatest Royal Rumble. They've gotten Crown Jewel. They've gotten good grief. All these other things. Now they've gotten an Elimination Chamber. How do you guys feel about it being in Saudi this year? How do you guys feel about the overall pay-per-view Elimination Chamber? It used to be a match that took place at another pay-per-view. Now it's its own pay-per-view, and it has been for almost a decade now. RN, how do you feel about the Chamber this year and overall?
I love the Chamber. It's probably my second favorite pay-per-view behind the Rumble, because we always get pretty much this is where we take off for WrestleMania. So I'm into it. And the Saudi shit, I mean, we all have our drawbacks for that, but I mean, it isn't going anywhere. So suck it up and enjoy the show. Glad to have wrestling on a Saturday afternoon.
Awesome. Will, how you feel about it?
It's kind of the same thing. Just to repeat it, everybody has their own opinions on what Saudi Arabia represents. WWE's a publicly traded company. They got board members to appease. Dollar signs make up everything.
Yeah.
Overall, the card looks good on paper. It's just a matter of how the guys perform in the ring.
Yeah,
as it always is.
I could not agree. I could not agree more. Tristan, how you feel about Elimination Chamber as a pay-per-view and where it's at this year?
Man, I feel like Elimination Chamber as a pay-per-view, it's something different. It's not War Games, but it's as close as we'll get. There's a lot of firsts in regards to this pay-per-view, which takes place Saturday in Saudi Arabia. It is the first Elimination Chamber to be ever aired on Peacock. Elimination Chamber 2021 was the last pay-per-view event to be aired on the WWE Network here in the U.S.
Wow.
This is the 7th event in Saudi Arabia under the 10-year partnership of the Saudi Vision 2030. It's on a Saturday, and it's the first Elimination Chamber outside the U.S. So there's a lot to be excited for when you really look at it on paper.
Yeah, 100%. And
wrestling on a Saturday is just like, I don't understand why that's not just what it is going forward, like for everything, including the Super Bowl. Like if the Super Bowl was held on a Saturday, you know how crazy that shit would be? You can get up, get drunk, ain't got to worry about being hungover the next day and shit and everything. Like Saturday sporting events should be it. That's what it only should be.
For what I
That's why I'm pumped. That's why I'm pumped. SummerSlam's on a Saturday in Nashville this year.
Right.
But you work from home, so if you're drunk, nobody will never know, really.
Well, I gotta make I gotta make calls. I can't be hammered drunk making calls.
There's always a catch.
Trust me, Fridays. That's happened a few Fridays, but hopefully nobody from work's listening.
Yeah, I'm indifferent towards it. I mean, I agree 100% with pay-per-views being moved to Saturdays is so much better. The only thing I don't like about it is because I'm a pastor, Sunday's a work day for me. And so if I have to stay up till 1 o'clock in the morning, which I'm sure WrestleMania is going to do that, then we're going to have to just suck it up and move it on. But I love pay-per-views being on a Saturday, and I do love Elimination Chamber. When we did the WWE calendar episode, it's one of the only gimmick pay-per-views I kept because I love the purpose of it, and it's being used again this year. The Women's Royal Rumble winner, Ronda Rousey, said, I want Charlotte Flair. Becky Lynch or Lita needs a challenger. Throw the women in the chamber. Whoever wins gets the shot. It's simple. So, I love having it for that reason. And for swerve stories like we're going to get to when you have a men's chamber set up the way tonight is, there's a whole lot more implications with that. So it's a great tool to play with. And let's just be honest, it looks awesome. It's a great concept and match. Eric Bischoff was having a good day when he came up with this idea. So I really enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to talking about it with you guys. Real quick, before we get into that, just got to plug this real quick. If you're watching us right now and you love our show and you love the content you're hearing so far, if you want to support us, there's two ways you can do that. You can visit our PayPal, which is paypal.me/SmackDrawPod, paypal.me/SmackDrawPod, and you can give us a one-time donation. Also, you can visit our Patreon, patreon.com/SmackDrawPodcast. And if you go there, there's 4 subscription tiers. For those of you that can't see, maybe you're listening, we have the Entitled tier for $1 a month, the Bama Slammer tier for $5 a month, the Rewind tier for $10 a month, and the Elite tier for $25 a month. Depending on which tier you subscribe to determines how much stuff you get from our brand. We got all kinds of stuff from stickers, shout-outs, exclusive content. You'll get a SmackDraw t-shirt, behind-the-scenes access to us, and we'll even advertise for your brand if you go all the way up to the Elite tier. So check out our Patreon. Again, that's patreon.com/SmackDrawPodcast. And again, we thank you guys so much for your support. None of that money goes into our pockets. It goes into making our brand successful. Helps us do our Zoom channel, helps us do our Twitch channel, helps us do our podcast on Podbean, everything like that. And just any ins and outs of technical stuff we need, it helps fund that. And it helps pay for the stickers and the t-shirts that we send to all of our Patreons. So the more you guys support us and the better you take care of us, I promise you, the better job we're going to do taking care of you. That's all the plugs for the night. So now let's get into what you guys are here for, and that is the Elimination Chamber. And again, like I said, it is happening this Saturday on Peacock Network, February the 19th, kicking off at noon, everybody. It's over in Saudi Arabia, time difference. It's at noon Eastern Standard Time. And for those of you in the Pacific, it's at 9 o'clock in the morning. So wake up, get you a bowl of cereal and a glass of orange juice, sit on the couch, and put on some wrestling at 9 o'clock in the morning. And you can enjoy an awesome pay-per-view. But let's get into it, guys. First match we're going to cover tonight is a match that was just announced last night on Monday Night Raw. If you haven't been watching Raw lately, the Mysterios are trying to build some momentum again as a tag team, but also as individual father and son, Rey and Dominic. And the thorn in their side of the past few weeks has been The Miz and his wife Maurice. So last night, they made it official. This weekend at Saudi Arabia at Elimination Chamber, Rey Mysterio will go one-on-one with The Miz. And, of course, we can only assume that Maurice will be in Miz's corner and Dominic will probably be in Rey Mysterio's corner. RN, it's called Check Your Temperature. Are you hot, cold, or lukewarm for this match?
I'm lukewarm for this, but because I feel like it should have been Dominic instead of Rey. But we all know what this match is going to be. It's going to be a decent match. I mean, The Miz is – he's the MVP always. So, he's going to perform. He's going to show up. You know Rey's going to do his thing too. But I would have much rather have been Dominic because I'm ready for this – to kind of kick off and for him to finally get started with his singles career. And I don't need him to break up. You know what I'm saying? I would love that. I think that would be an awesome feud. And I think Rosenberg said to have JVL come back and be Dominic's manager in it. I think that shit would be super fire. But yeah, no, I'm lukewarm on it.
Okay, and who's gonna win?
I think Miz is gonna win.
Oh, Miz is gonna get the upper hand this one. Okay. All right, Will Gray, hot, cold, or warm for this match?
I'm going to go say I'm going to hot on it. I've got 2 reasons why. One, Mysterio, classic babyface, always has been most of his career, versus Miz, who is one of the WWE's current generation's best heels. So going into it, we know both guys can work. We know both guys can help get their guy over in the ring. So I feel like going into it, as long as they have a chance to do what they need to, they should put on a good match for us. I'm going to go with Mysterio going over, because Maurice is going to try to interfere. Dominic will play a part in it to keep it from happening. Mysterio win with a roll-up or something simple.
Okay. And, hey, what's up, Too Sweet Pod? Welcome to the show, man. Hey, all of you watching in the chat, let us know, are you hot, cold, or warm for these matches and who you guys are predicting are going to win? I'll shout you out in the chat with your answers. Mr. Tristen Law, Rey versus The Miz. Are you hot, cold, or warm for it?
And for this match, Bama, I am warm for this match. This match came to be because The Miz felt slighted he wasn't chosen for the WWE 2K video game cover, but Rey Mysterio was chosen instead. If you ask me, I don't think Rey Mysterio is the head of the complaint department at the WWE, but his complaint will be heard loud and clear by Rey. Miz is acting like a male version of a Karen and feels like he deserves some respect. Look, when it comes to respect, I respect The Miz for demanding the respect because people will only treat you the way that you allow them to treat you.
Yep.
But you got to remember, the Miz is sneaky. The Rey Mysterio is going on his 33rd year in the pro wrestling business this April. Rey Mysterio has dealt with people of all shapes and sizes, just like the Miz. This will be a fun match to watch.
Yeah.
I got my money on Rey Mysterio.
And I'm going to also go with warm on this match. And the only reason I'm going to say warm on this match is because it doesn't have enough teeth for me. It's not a bad story. It's just not as captivating as I would like it to be. But make no mistake, the two players involved in this are why I'm warm, leaning up towards the hot. Rey Mysterio, no question, the greatest masked wrestler of all time. No question, will go down as the greatest luchador of all time. And his legacy is bar none. Tristen just said 33 years in the business. I grew up watching him. I've always been a fan of Rey Mysterio. And I know a lot of people are going to say, David, there's no way that's true. But in my personal opinion, The Miz is the best heel in the business right now. The Miz has the ability to get over in this business being a heel and truly drawing heat in a company that you are being handcuffed to do that. You are
Right.
there's certain things in WWE you can't say. There's certain things you can't do. There's certain lines you can't cross. Miz is going up to every one of those lines and spitting over it as best he can because he wants to get as much heat as he possibly can. To me, that's the mark of a great heel, and he's doing the absolute best he can. If his handcuffs were off, I can only dare to shudder what kind of a heel he could possibly be. So I'm
If his handcuffs were off, he'd be MJF.
Yeah.
Or not better.
And he's got 15 years on MJF, so imagine the more experience and knowledge he has and what he could and could not do, 100%. Having said all of that, though, the Prince wanted this match, I'm sure, because he wanted Rey Mysterio and he wanted The Miz. So because of that, we tend to see feel-good stories in Saudi, and I don't think the story's going to progress after this. So therefore, I think Rey Mysterio is going to win this match and just put this one on the back burner, and then we'll see what happens between Rey and Dominic going into WrestleMania. And I think it'll be an interesting dynamic there. Unless Dominic is the reason Rey loses this match, and that sets up their one-on-one at WrestleMania. Possibly. So we'll see. But possibly. But my gut says Rey's going to win because they want to close this story. So we'll see. All right, next match. Match that was up the ante on Friday Night SmackDown. Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. And, of course, Happy Corbin will be in Madcap's corner. This was a one-on-one match, but now it has been made a Falls Count Anywhere match, which makes it a little bit more intriguing, just slightly, but we'll see what you guys have to say. This time, Will, I'm starting with you. Hot, cold, or warm?
I'm cold on this match. I'm not a big fan of Madcap Moss. I feel like being attached to Baron Corbin, who has been relinquished to a mid-card guy for the last year and a half. He never really got the push after King of the Ring, so they're just kind of there for comedic relief and what we would call jobbers in this generation of wrestling. Drew McIntyre is always fun to watch. Adding Falls Count Anywheres add a little bit of stipulation to it, but overall, I'm just kind of very blasé on this match. It's just not much for me here.
And who's going to win?
I'm going to go with McIntyre for sure.
All right, Mr. Tristen Law, hot, cold, or warm for this match?
And I'm cold for this match. I'm going to have to echo everything he just said. McIntyre's been out of the light for so long. He badly needs this win, though. The Falls Count Anywhere is not in the favor of Drew McIntyre because what's stopping Happy Corbin from getting involved? What is in Drew's favor is that he's an ass kicker and he stood toe-to-toe with Brock Lesnar and has proved successful. Drew McIntyre is the largest caliber opponent that Moss has ever stood in front of to date. Based on his size and strength, he may be able to hang with Drew. I'm not sure if Madcap Moss does have what it takes to win, but he might need to play that draw 4 card in the form of Happy Corbin to secure the win.
All right. But you're saying Drew's going to win?
Of course.
All right. I'm warm on this match, and I'm only warm for one reason, and it's out of left field. Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman went on After the Bell with Corey Graves, and Corey Graves asked him, who are some people that you could see making huge waves in the business? And he, of course, brought up Braun Breaker, and he brought up, Grayson Waller, and he brought up, Drew McIntyre's got a bright future, and all these different names. Then he said, one person that no one else will say, but I will say it, is Madcap Moss. And when he said that, I'm like, okay, if Paul Heyman sees something I don't see, I need to pay better attention to this. And I've been watching him for the last 2 weeks on SmackDown. There's little things he does that I can tell if they tap into it, he could probably grow a real better character. But unfortunately right now, being the stupid sidekick of Happy Corbin and telling stupid jokes is not helping him. The moment he gets out of that shadow and finds a new character, I am intrigued to what he possibly could do with himself. And he did have a match with Drew at, oh gosh, when was it? It was at I think it was at a December pay-per-view right before he got hurt, and he and Drew had a good match. I was actually really impressed with him. So I'm only warm for that, but 100% what you guys said, Happy Corbin's going to get involved because it's Falls Count Anywhere. I'm interested to see what kind of Claymore Drew finally gives him and from what height or from what angle and in what part of the arena. But having said all of that, I do think Drew McIntyre desperately needs this win. We got to get him back on a hot track and get him back in a good light because eventually after WrestleMania, I think he needs to come calling and Roman needs to have a challenger. Drew McIntyre and Roman have an unfinished story, and let's get him hot for that match. So I definitely agree. RN, hot, cold, or warm?
Cold as ice.
Yep.
You guys said everything. I mean, and it's not Madcap's fault. Like, I just feel like anything that revolves around Baron Corbin for some reason because people hate him so much, like it's never going to succeed. It's never going to be. People aren't going to take it serious, and they're going to shit on it regardless.
Right.
Which I think is highly unfair to both of them because I think they're both talented in the ring, and I think that they're both showing the different sizes of things that they can do. It ain't just about being the king or doing dumb shit, just trying to be a heel. Like they're showing us some range, and we're too damn caught up in hating Baron Corbin to enjoy it and actually take it for what it's worth. But Drew's going to win, but this shit's cold.
Yeah. All right. Going over here to the chat, Apron says, Madcap Moss definitely has potential with a different gimmick. He's the best athlete in the company. Wow, that's a step out. Best athlete in the company. Man.
It's not really a step out. If you watched him in NXT earlier when he was with, what was it, Tito, I think, or whatever. I always forget that dude's name because he was ass too. But no, he's an athlete, like legitimately an athlete.
No, I'm not saying he's not. I'm not saying he's not a great athlete. He absolutely is. I even said that's why I'm intrigued by him. But man, you're putting him above. Some crazy athletes. But all right, and then thank you, Kyle. Day one was the pay-per-view. Allison said, I can't read the comment, but she says this other gimmick isn't helping him either. And then Kyle said there was a network special where he blew everybody away in a combine every single week. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, like I said, I'm intrigued by him, and if Paul Heyman says there's something special about him, then Paul Heyman's never wrong. So that means to me, Corbin needs to push him a little too far, and he needs to hit Corbin in the mouth and get out of there. Basically, is what needs to happen, and then we'll see what kind of potential he really has. Next match that was also announced on Friday, and I'm actually a little intrigued to what you guys are going to say for this one. Women's tag match. The Queen, Charlotte Flair, and her cover on SmackDown, which is WWE official Sonya DeVille, going up against Charlotte's opponent for WrestleMania, which is Ronda Rousey, and the girl who had arguably the match of her career on Friday night, Naomi, who took Charlotte Flair to the absolute limit but came up just short of winning that SmackDown Women's Championship versus the Queen. Ronda and Naomi versus Charlotte and Sonya Deville. Tristen, we're starting with you. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
For this match, man, I'm warm for this match. There's so much going on in this match between Ronda and Charlotte and Sonya and Naomi. And if I had to trust someone, the only person I would trust in that match is Naomi. Ronda Rousey's a killer, and if Naomi wants to keep Ronda's killer instinct, if Naomi can keep Ronda's killer instinct focused on both Flair and DeVille, they may be able to win this match. Charlotte Flair is one of those children, in my opinion, who didn't play well with others in the sandbox. Charlotte thrives best when she has something at stake, and there's nothing at stake in this match. Her WWE Women's SmackDown Championship is not on the line here, and neither are any side opportunities. So does Charlotte care about this match? Yes. It's an opportunity for her to deflate the tires and cast self-doubt on her WrestleMania opponent, Ronda Rousey.
So who's going to win?
Ronda Rousey and Naomi.
Okay. I'm in the exact same boat. I'm going to go warm on this match. Like I said, Naomi and Charlotte had the best match on SmackDown, one of the best matches of Naomi's career. Great match. Everybody on here knows how much I love the Queen. Charlotte Flair, in my opinion, is the greatest female wrestler of all time and probably will stay that way until some other prodigy finally wakes up and takes her spot, but I don't know how long it's going to be before we see somebody like that. Sonya Deville, I hate her with a passion, and I wish every single one of her bones was broken because she's playing her character perfectly. She's making me hate her that badly. And, I am just... Like I said, I'm just warm for it for that because it's a tag match to let Ronda and Charlotte be seen in Saudi Arabia, to let Naomi and Sonya have a chance to compete at Saudi Arabia. But I will say this. There were no women's matches the first Saudi Arabia event. We got 3 on this card. It's amazing the progress that's being made. And to see Ronda Rousey compete in Saudi Arabia in a tag match, it's going to be intriguing. Usually they save her for big pay-per-view events. And so to watch her do this is going to be, very, very interesting to watch this match. So I do agree with Tristen. I think Ronda and Naomi will somehow get the win here. But I think it's only because, like you said, Charlotte has no point in winning this match. For all I know, she may get out off the apron, just walk away. Ronda may chase her and may leave Naomi and Sonya by themselves. And Naomi will beat the crap out of Sonya. And I think that's the way it should be. RN, hot, cold, or warm?
Old. I mean, these are all just filler matches. They just threw together 2 feuds that don't really have shit to do with each other for one show. All of a sudden, they just throw it together. Like, it's just how they do the women. It sucks, but it just kind of is what it is. So I'm definitely cold on this one. And like you said, Ronda and Naomi are going to win for sure. I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't. They're like everyone said, there's no reason for Charlotte and them to win unless they do some crazy shit that we don't see coming. But I definitely think it'll be Ronda and Naomi for sure.
Okay, Will, do you want to turn your camera sideways again and then tell us, are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
I am cold on this match, and I feel like I have to agree these are just feuds thrown together. This is obviously just a warm-up match for Rousey and Flair going into WrestleMania. And in the same regard, I feel like it's the exact same way for Naomi and Sonya. I feel like they're building to a WrestleMania match, and this is just the next stop in that story, which I'm not opposed to. So I would say cold, possibly lukewarm, depending how the match looks in the ring. Okay,
and say chat. Let us know what you guys think and how you guys are feeling about this match, and are y'all hot, cold, or warm for it? Yeah, I mean, Sonya and Naomi are a good grief. They've been going since October, September. I mean, it's
the summer damn near off and on.
Yeah, it's been forever. So yeah, they finally had a match, but Sonya, of course, found a way to get somebody else involved in it. So yeah, I do agree. Their final match will be at WrestleMania, probably hair versus hair or Falls Count Anywhere, some kind of crazy stipulation where Sonya has nobody to help her. But we'll see. All right, next match. SmackDown Tag Team Championships are on the line. The Usos, we the ones, are defending the SmackDown Tag Team Championships against their opponents who have actually ascended the tag ranks again for the first time in a long time. The Viking Raiders, Eric and Ivar, they've refound their chemistry and refound their winning ways, and they've earned a number 1 contendership shot, and they're going to get it in Saudi Arabia versus the Usos. I'm going to start this one. I am warm for this match. It seems to be a trend with me tonight. Again, it's nothing, personal. I will be shocked if the Viking Raiders win this match, only because I just feel like it's, not their time yet. However, they're back in the title picture. Good for them. They deserve to be there. They're great. They're a great tag team. I'm glad they are, readopting the raid and the war machine aspects of their character. They're not being the karaoke singing, eating turkey legs in the car driving. They're not those guys anymore. They're back to being the brute outdoor Viking Raiders that they are. And so I hope they have a good showing. I hope they pull out all the stops and all the tricks they have. I don't want this to be a 8-minute match. I hope they give them 10-15 minutes and let them really, bounce off each other. But at the end of the day, I just feel like it's not the time for the Usos to drop the titles yet. I think if that happens, it'll be at WrestleMania in a real big match. But we'll wait and see what happens then. RN, hot, cold, or warm?
Warm, same thing. It's going to be the same thing for me for most of these matches. I am not as high on the Viking Raiders. I think that they are shells of themselves, what they were when they were War Machine and when they were in NXT as well. Like, I think they've literally just been kind of cut off at the knees, and they have got some of it back with this little run they've got to the tag title. But like, I think they're lame as hell. Like I hate the Viking shit so much. Like it's not even a real thing. Like just stop. Like it's not 1984. You know what I'm saying? Everybody doesn't have to have some ridiculously dumb gimmick. Like, come on, man. Like really, like who believes they're really Vikings? Like you want me to hold my disbelief for a lot of shit, and I do that for you. But I'm not gonna believe these dudes are really Vikings. Sorry.
You ever been to a Renaissance fair?
Yeah, I used to work. There's literally one right down the street from me where I live, and I've worked it a couple times, but still, that ain't it.
And so you're with me. The Usos are going to retain.
Oh yeah, Usos are retaining for sure, and I think it's going to be a short match as well. They're not getting 10, 15 minutes.
I hope you're wrong, but all right. Will, hot, cold, or warm?
Lukewarm. For pretty much the exact same reasons that were just said. I hate to keep harping on it. I feel like the Usos won't drop the titles till WrestleMania. I feel like the Viking Raiders aren't back in the picture where they're ready to take the title reign yet. It's just kind of like it's one of those filler matches. I just don't feel like we've got a whole lot going with it. We don't see any way that the Usos are going to go down. The bloodline is going too strong. It's just not the time for them to start dropping titles yet. So I just lukewarm on this. As long as they get time to work it, it'll be fine. But I think 5 to 8 minutes is all they're going to get, and the Usos will retain.
Yep. Looking over here in the chat, Marie Shadow says, I'm warm for pretty much everything except Drew versus Madcap. I like that pay-per-view is somewhere different. And then she said, and then Apron Bump said, I think a heel turn would do wonders for the Viking Raiders. 100%.
Yep.
100%. If they are heels and they basically become like an enforcer version of the APA as Vikings, hey, pay us and we'll go plunder your enemies for you. I'm in. That makes sense. So, because, when you think Vikings, they're not nice guys. They shouldn't be held as that. I think they need to be, heel turn would do wonders for them, 100%. Have they ever been heels since they've been in the company?
No.
No.
About day.
They wanted them to be heels, but they were so over at the time when they signed him. I mean, when they came out the first time in NXT, the damn roof blew off that place. So it never worked out for them being heels.
Well, then I think it's time. Come on, creative. Let's give them something evil to do. Tristan, hot, cold, or warm?
Man, I'm colder than a serial killer's heart when it comes to this match.
Ooh.
There's no meat to this match. It's just a match for the sake of having a match. And, the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships are on the line. I'd be surprised to see a title change on Saturday afternoon. But when there's no build-up, the match needs to be really strong to make the people really care about it. So it's on a Saturday afternoon. Will you care about it? Usos for the win.
Yeah. If they're going to swerve us, though, go ahead. I won't hate it. But I just don't think it's going to happen. 100%. All right, guys. Next match. Match for the Raw Women's Championship. And quite frankly, a match that I don't think I would ever see. The Idol versus the biggest fan. The Legend versus the champ. The Raw Women's Champion, Becky Lynch, defends the Raw Women's Championship versus her youthful idol from when she was a kid, the girl who inspired her to become a professional wrestler. That would be Extreme herself, Lita, who has returned and says, I feel like I have one more run in me, and it's going to start by taking your championship at Saudi Arabia. RN, we're back to you. Hot, cold, or warm for this match?
Cold as a cold summer day in Alaska. Like this shit, like I'm so sick of these like old dudes, like and old women coming back. Like it kills me too because the fans of I just tweeted this today. They never stop bitching about getting new stars in and making new stars. But the reason why the WWE can't do that is because every time you bring back old man Goldberg and Lita's 50-year-old ass taking 10 minutes to get to the top rope, they go ape shit, buy all their merchandise, tweet out everything, hashtag and everything. So they think you guys really want to see them when you're going to bitch about this match. And you're going to bitch about the Goldberg match after that happens too. But you keep popping for them, so they keep bringing these old fucks back. I don't really care who wins. It's not going to be Lita. I hope this is a one and done. And I love Lita. Look at everybody else. I'm here for it. I'm glad these old fucks don't need to be in title pictures. They need to be in matches against other old people. You know what I'm saying? Get them the Legends title or something to play. Like there's no reason why Lita and Goldberg should be in the world title scene in 2022. None whatsoever.
If you get
ever.
If you get Legend versus Legend, then that's 2 spots that these current talent can't have.
Well, I mean, get rid of some of these trash ass get rid of these terrible tag matches that they just threw together for no reason. I'd much rather see Lita and Lita versus Trish than that tag match with Ronda and them.
Yep. You're not wrong about that. So you're picking Becky to retain?
Yeah. If anybody's not picking Becky, you're
Will, hot, cold, or warm, sir?
Lukewarm, only because it's Lita versus Lynch. I feel like everybody's right. We know Becky's going to retain. It's going to push towards some kind of big WrestleMania showdown via her and Ronda or Charlotte or some combination of the 3, I feel like. So this, in my opinion, is just filler. They're bringing in Hall of Famers that will get cheap pops to sell tickets in Saudi Arabia. It is what it is. We know, and this match is pretty much the same as what's coming up. Lynch is going to go over with Lita. It's going to be a great match, but other than that, we know nothing else is coming from it.
All right, Allison over here in the chat says, RN, keep preaching. And Tristen, we're going to come over to you. Becky versus Lita. Are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
And I'm warm for this match. The question I was asking myself when I was thinking about this match earlier was, has Becky Lynch bitten off more than she can chew? She has to worry not only about Ronda Rousey, but WWE Hall of Famer Lita. Becky Lynch, though, is good under pressure, and her championship history backs it up. Mm-hmm. Becky Lynch has been the Raw Women's Champion longer than anybody else in 10 years. And that's for her 2 separate reigns in 10 years, right? I'm not too hopeful for Lita, as this is the only this would be the second match if she wins. The second match if she wins in this era that she win. The previous match was a tag team match back at Evolution in 2018. I personally, based on that, I don't think Lita has it in her to do it on her own, but Lita says that she has one more run in her. If this is her last run, she may kick it into overdrive to compete with the women in this era. Lita has a lot to lose in this match, and it's a lot more than the match. It's her final run, and her legacy is at stake. I'm going for Lita with the win. I'm not high.
Whoa.
So somebody called the New York Sporting Commission. He needs it to be tested immediately.
They can test me. I'm good. I don't do drugs. I don't drink. I'm good. They can test me.
Wow.
Now, despite of what I said, like if Lita won, that would be fucking big. Like, and that would be something that, you know what I'm saying, they could build off of. But like, come on, man, she's not winning.
Wow.
That's a bold take, though.
That is definitely a very bold take.
Is Kyle in the chat? Tell him to put that down for UWO.
Do an audio clip of it. Yeah, well,
right.
But by the time UWF goes live, it'll be past, so it won't do it. You want an even bolder take than that, though? I'm hot for this match.
Of course you are. What y'all don't know is he is a Becky Lynch stan, and he's hot for all.
I am not a stan because I don't post about her every single day like some of you creeps out there that need to go check yourself into a mental institution. My God, what is wrong with you people? Get a life. Get outside your basement. Anyway, the reason I'm hot for this match is for the simple fact of I didn't think this match was possible, and it's actually going to happen. So because of that, I'm hot for it. I am a huge fan of the man, Becky Lynch. She will never be big time Bex to me. She'll always be the man. And I really, really love that she's actually said, you know what? I didn't want this. I didn't ask for this. They forced this heel turn on me. But heck, you know what? I'm going to do the best I can with it. And congratulations, Becky. I actually want to see Lita beat you. You've done that good of a job of making me hate you, and I really appreciate you for doing that. That proves your professionalism, and I know how big of a fan you are and how much you love this business, and I also know how much you love Lita. However, as much as I love this, there would be no Becky Lynch without Lita, but now that there is a Becky Lynch, There can be no more Lita. Lita, you've outstayed your welcome. I'm so thankful you're in good health. I'm so thankful for your mind for this business. I am so thankful you want to mentor and help elevate other girls. Thank you for being a stepping stone to help the already biggest woman in the company go that much higher in her notch of getting over in this company. And I hope she eviscerates you in the middle of that ring to get even more heat, so when she goes into WrestleMania, the entire 100,000 people in the arena boo Becky Lynch, which I never thought I would ever see possible. I hope she does that to you. And for an even bigger record, I'm Team Trish. Get out of the ring. So there you go. Always was Team Trish. I don't care if I was alone. I was always Team Trish. Sorry. Anyway, next match. Match for the Universal Championship. The Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the king of the bloodline, the Samoan Savior. Y'all, the titles he has, he's earned every one of them. I believe he just crossed into 520 plus days as the Universal Champion. Roman Reigns is going to be facing his opponent from WrestleMania 36 that unfortunately COVID stopped from happening, and therefore we got Goldberg versus Braun Strowman at WrestleMania 36 when we were supposed to get Goldberg versus Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship. Run it back. In 2022, we're finally getting that match in Saudi Arabia. This is supposed to be the last match in Goldberg's contract currently with the WWE, which means this very could well be his last match, period. So that having said all of that, Will, are you hot, cold, or warm for this match?
Lukewarm. I feel like with it being Goldberg's last match, I don't see them putting the belt on him just to drop it in a month or two. I feel like Roman has too much build going into WrestleMania. So this is another filler match. This is just another match to sell tickets. So lukewarm just because I'm excited to watch the guys work, but there's really nothing coming from it. It's going to be a Roman Reigns win. We all know Goldberg will probably do his moves, maybe hit a jackhammer, but ultimately this is just another filler match to get to the big Elimination Chambers.
So no question, Roman retains.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
All right, Mr. Tristen Law, hot, cold, or warm?
And before I even give you that, man, I just want to say, I hope that when it comes to re-signing Goldberg's contract, like they don't have any pens or anything like that. But these two Titans were supposed to meet each other 2 years ago at WrestleMania 36, but Roman Reigns obviously pulled out due to health concerns, only to return a few months later to claim the Universal Championship that he still holds today. BamaDave, Roman Reigns is on a 533-day counting Universal title reign. Brother, you know I do research before I sit here and talk. I want to seem sensible. A 533-day and counting Universal title reign, which is about a year and a half long. In that time, though, what has Roman Reigns done? He has laid down many current and future WWE Hall of Famers.
Yes, he has.
If Goldberg wants to win, he's going to have to do a snatch and grab. He needs to go out there and do what he needs to do in as short an amount of time as possible. That is his strength, but it is also his weakness. In order for Roman Reigns to leave Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, still Universal Champion, he needs to exploit Goldberg's weakness. Yes, Goldberg is intimidating. Yes, Goldberg is strong, but Goldberg is not built to go the distance. If Roman Reigns wants to defeat Goldberg, he needs to run that time clock, beat Goldberg up, blow him up, and pin his shoulders to the mat. I'm not going to fall for the okie doke. Goldberg is the winner. And then re-sign his contract.
Yep.
Whoa. So
I'm about to dive on this with him because that's literally what I was just about to fucking say too.
Are you hot for this match then?
I'm not hot for it. That's
Tristen, are you hot for this match then or warm?
I'm hot for this match because I want to see what happens.
And I'm cold for it because I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think that they're going to pull the okie doke on us, and it's like anytime Goldberg's in a match, it's something never happens what you think is going to happen. So we all think he's going to lose. They love that match. They just love the pop that he gets because I don't think we know y'all remember this, but the last time he was here was the biggest pop and the biggest uptake and crowd reaction that the WWE had in like 4 to 6 weeks or some shit. That one episode of Raw that Goldberg returned to. I'm hopping on there with you, Tristan. I think he's going to pull a win out too. They might turn it over, or it might even be a disqualification win or something. But I think Goldberg grabs the win here.
All right, and Apron Bump says, I want to see Goldberg win just to watch the reaction on social media.
That's another reason why, too, a little FU to the smart fans and stuff. Like, again, to go back to what I said earlier, like, there's no reason why Goldberg should be in this match.
I agree.
He's not intimidating. He's not strong. He can't lift or pick up anybody. Like, there's literally, he can barely do the spear. When he does the spear, it looks like when your little brother's, like, coming at you, you just hold his head and hold it back and shit. Like, it's so pointless him being in the ring, bro. Like, I just don't get it. Like,
look, if I was standing in the alley with Goldberg, he's intimidating. Like, I might have to get a gun and shoot him. I'm going to hit Goldberg with something. I'm hitting him with something.
Not Roman Reigns, though. Why? If Roman Reigns and Goldberg were in the alley, Roman Reigns ain't going to be intimidated by that old-ass man, bro.
Fact. I think that. Because he's the head of the table.
Yes, to me, I'm intimidated by Goldberg. Like you said, I'm kneecapping his ass. I'm not Roman Reigns, though. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my gosh, I am just warm for this match because again, it's the irresistible force meets the immovable object. It's the greatest Universal Champion, no lie, the greatest Universal Champion since the belt was created, versus arguably the most unstoppable wrestler that's ever been in the squared circle. But again, Goldberg, you're not who you were in 1998. You're not that guy anymore. And every time you've wrestled a guy that's as big as you or bigger, you've almost killed him. So I'm sorry. This is just not. I don't want Roman Reigns to be put out of his commission because of something stupid you did. Roman has to win this match. He has to. This has to be the last big notch on his belt before he goes into WrestleMania to face Brock Lesnar. And even then, I think it's going to be a tale of the tape. I think that Goldberg is going to throw the spear. Roman will take it. Roman will kick out of it. Goldberg will pick him up to try to jackhammer him. And right as he's about to pick him up, Roman will lock his legs in the guillotine and he will choke Goldberg's tail out. And that is the way this match is going to end. He's going to choke him out with that guillotine, and they will lift Goldberg's hand. And I do not think in the history of the business Goldberg has ever tapped out or ever submitted or ever been choked out until Saturday. And that is how Goldberg's career will end, putting over Roman in the biggest way he possibly can by being the first time ever he gives up in a match via the guillotine. And that's going to cement Roman's legacy forever as the man who retired Goldberg. And it should be.
My biggest thing with Goldberg too is like, at least with like Brock, like he has that pedigree of being a champ on both shows.
Yep.
He's still technically a current wrestler. So when he goes and comes back, like it's kind of shitty too, but he is the main event. He is the championship guy. What the hell has Goldberg done in WWE to just come up and just be like, you're next?
Yep.
Like, I'm like, no, where the fuck you been at, bro? Like, get out of here. Get back. Go back to the back, old man. Like, how does that even happen?
Same thing. Same thing Lita's done. Just been the name. That's it.
Right. Like,
that's
come on, bro.
Yep. And again, WWE, if you don't build future stars, you can't call these people because they're going to be dead or in the home. You can't do this much longer. So get these young guys over. And I really believe. All right, let's throw that out there. I said the retirement word. Do you guys believe if Roman beats Goldberg, that's it? Goldberg's done.
Hell no. Hell no. He's going to re-up.
Look, as long as WWE still got money, I mean, I'd still sign the contract if I was Goldberg.
Right.
If my phone's still, as long as they still willing to do business and my phone's still ringing, why not?
Yeah, and this is no hate on Goldberg. Get your money, player. Like, I ain't hating on that at all. Get that bag.
Right.
But like, and I'm not, again, same thing with Lita. Like, I don't care if Goldberg's on the show. Right. I just don't think these old dudes should come back in and just jump everybody in line straight to the world championship when you have so many dope wrestlers on that roster that you haven't built up. So, because really, Roman has no one to go against but Brock. So what happens when Brock's ready to go take another hiatus? Who have they built up on SmackDown that's ready to slide in when Brock's gone?
Hopefully,
no one. Moss.
Madcap Moss.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's literally Drew, Moss, and Corbin. That's the only people you really get that going to get any actual TV time and get any time on things. So of those three, because honestly, everybody's gonna say Drew, but Drew ain't really done shit to deserve to slide in with Roman, and not enough to slide in with Roman for us to take him serious as a threat. So, like, what have you done? All you did is bring this old ass man in to push everybody back down and push your booking back weeks because Goldberg has to come through and blow smoke, and literally and figuratively blow fucking smoke to go to this match. Like, it's just like, it makes no sense.
Well, Armin, the whole world of pro wrestling has changed. Like, I feel like WWE gives everybody a participation trophy. As long as you have music and you can walk to the ring, you can get a match for anything. You remember when we were growing up, the Royal Rumble was so cool because, like, oh my God, you don't know who's going to be in it.
We never knew the order of it. Now we know the order before the whole damn show before it starts.
People show up and say, I want to be in the Royal Rumble. Like, wait a minute. What have you done? Besides just show up.
Used to
just got on TV today.
You had to qualify to be in the Royal Rumble. You had to win a match to get in it.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Why are you in the Royal Rumble? You know, Lita just showed up and said, hey, I want a match. Okay, well, I guess. You know, like, why these younger, I mean, in storyline, why are these younger wrestlers just sitting back and allowing this to happen?
That's my thing. Like, if you can let this old man just walk in through the door, ain't been here in 2 years, going in through, why can't you do the same thing with one of these young dudes? You know how much pop you'd get if you just pulled a random guy out the back and let him go out and challenge. They used to do that too on Raw.
Yeah.
You knew the guy wasn't Chris Jericho. Like, you knew he wasn't going to really beat Triple H, but that was still something that helped. That was a part of his career and part of his foundation to push him to the main event. Like, you never get any of that anymore. We kind of are getting it with Austin Theory with the Vince stuff, but he's only doing it with mid-card guys. Like, get him in there with some actual guys that are in the main event so we can kind of sort of take him serious, because I think, like, it just goes back to the rub thing. Like, if you're only putting these guys at mid-level, you're only going to get mid-level responses for them. But you got to put them in there with top guys.
But when you really look at it, though, who's really in the main event?
No one. That's what I'm saying. That's my point. There's literally no one in any of the main events. Even your champion's not in the main event. Raw, you got his ass in the Elimination Chamber.
True.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's my thing is, like, and I can't remember where I heard it at, but I said, pretty much what they said is WWE is not in the business of making new stars. They don't want anybody to be bigger than the brand anymore. Yeah, the days of The Rock and all that shit ain't happening no more. They keep their thumb on these guys.
Yes.
And keep them under control.
John Cena was the last one. Yes.
And because John Cena was the last one, they hurt themselves because they don't have anybody that brings in a lot of star power, a lot of glitz and glamour. So now they have to go out and go look for it. They got to live in yesteryear instead of building up and using who they have now.
Right. Because
that's my. And the thing, it's just like even things like with the whole time they've been wanting a real fighter and all that shit. So they went out and got Ronda Rousey when they had her entire team on the roster learning to be wrestlers.
Yep.
Like, why did you not use them? Like,
because they're not Ronda.
No, but I'm saying, like, why they went out and got Ronda. That's what they've been looking for. That's why they signed Mercedes Martinez and all these, like, real fighters. Well, you had 3 of them on the roster that you completely buried and did nothing with.
Because they weren't Ronda.
I know that.
That's the way it is.
But my thing is, like, they had Ronda there. Why didn't they put them with her at all times? They should have been seen on TV next to her.
True.
Every time she was on TV.
You're
so
right.
then when she left,
you're right.
And when she left, you had them there still reminding you that Ronda could come back at any time, and then they got the rub.
Right.
True. So then you had your fighters that aren't really UFC people anymore, but they are legit fighting champion, you know what I'm saying, like, to run with. And then every time Ronda comes back, she got a built-in crew to come with her too. So if you want to bring her back as a heel, messing people up and shit, like doing that, like, it's so many better things you could have did by giving them the rub, but you buried them down to NXT and pretending like they didn't exist unless somebody mentioned it on Twitter.
I think it's hard to have somebody write a storybook directed towards children and they don't have children. And that's the case that we have here now. You know, I've had a friend who applied for WWE and they asked him, was he a fan of the WWE? He said, yes. He never heard a phone call ever again.
Right.
They're not looking for wrestling fans. Like, if we all, wrestling fans or wrestlers, we all sat there and we booked the thing, it'd be somewhat decent. Like, we have people that write, I get it. Maybe you need a mix of people that write sitcoms so that you need to do what it is that you have to do. But get a mix. But when everybody's just one thing, it's not going to work. It's not working.
Nope.
It's not.
No, you guys are 100% correct. It's extremely sad, and I've said forever, there's going to come a day because you haven't built up megastars anymore, because you won't let them have the freedom to cut the promos they know they can cut, put on the matches they know they can have, and say and do the things in the rivalries they want to do. There's only a handful of guys, Brock Lesnar being one of them, that says, I'm going to do what I want. If you try to tell me otherwise, I'll walk out that door right now. And only Brock Lesnar right now is the only guy in the company. Paul Heyman, maybe. Roman, maybe. But I think even they could get terminated in a heartbeat if, God forbid, they said no. But we know Brock Lesnar does whatever Brock Lesnar wants to do. And that's just the bottom line. What I think is the problem with this is in 10, 15 years, Lita ain't going to come back. Trish ain't going to come back. John Cena definitely ain't going to come back. The Rock ain't going to come back. And if they do come back, it's to stand in the ring and say something. They will not be able to go, and therefore they cannot give anybody the rub except on the microphone. And then guess what happens, Vince? When you need Seth to come back, maybe he goes off and tries a few movies in Hollywood. When you need Seth to come back, it ain't going to be no glass-breaking ovation he gets. It ain't going to be no if you smell ovation he gets. It won't even be Trish's laugh ovation he gets, because you never let him get over. You never let him get to the level he was more than capable of. And it is a freaking shame, because he's that dang talented. You're putting all your eggs on Roman. Great. Roman could go to Hollywood tomorrow. Then what? Then what?
That was the difference between wrestling in now and like 1999. You remember that WWF superstars were everywhere.
Yes.
You know, they were in movies, they were in television shows, they had books, they have everything. And now they just live in the WWE universe. That's where they live.
Everything's the logo. Everything's the logo.
That's it.
Yep. St. Louis Rams win the Super Bowl. They're not getting pictures with stars. They're just holding the WWE belt. That's it. It's all about the brand. All about the brand. Will, go ahead. You want to add anything to this?
I feel like, looking at what it is right now, you guys have pretty much nailed it all on the head. Going back to the Hall of Famers coming in, your Litas and those guys, they're running the well dry. They're selling tickets to get people in the seats. You book these fantasy matches that we know the ending of before they come through. We know none of these belts are going to change unless they did decide to pull something out of left field. Even then, it won't be a protected run, because you know Lita doesn't have 6 months, a year worth of time in the ring.
Nope.
Goldberg definitely doesn't. And that's not slights towards them at all. That's just the reality of the situation. And we know with the builds going towards WrestleMania between Lynch and Ronda, these are just filler matches. These are just dollar signs. That's all these are at this point.
Yep.
I mean, you guys pretty much nailed it all.
They're just brands and commodities that can be used to get over the bigger brand. That's all they are. All right, guys. Next match. Here we go. We are now at the Women's Elimination Chamber. So your homework, guys, was who you want to win this match and then who you think is going to win this match. So real quick, the Women's Elimination Chamber, we have Liv Morgan. We have the Nightmare Rhea Ripley. We have the EST of the WWE, Bianca Belair. We have the Scottish, I don't know what her other name is, but I call her Piper Niven. Everybody else calls her Dewdrop. Stupid. And then we have Nikki ASH. Terrible. And then we have a returning Alexa Bliss, who finally, I guess, finished her therapy, and as a prize, she gets to get back into the Elimination Chamber as a result of finishing her therapy. This time, I think we are up to, let's see, we're back. Tristen, we'll start with you. Hot, cold, and warm.
So for this match, I'm hot. Although the WWE Women's Champion Becky Lynch is not defending her championship in this match, the stakes here are still high, because the winner of this match will get the opportunity to fight for the women's championship at WrestleMania. With only 18 ever women competing in the Elimination Chamber, there isn't a lot of experience floating around the women's locker room. So you have to look at two people, Liv Morgan and Alexa Bliss. Liv Morgan has had more time to figure out the key to success, as she's been in 2 Elimination Chamber matches, but has never eliminated anyone. I wouldn't count Liv all the way out, because she's got to taste what it's like to be in the main event picture. She wasn't successful, but is she hungry? Alexa Bliss, on the other hand, is making a comeback after being gone for quite some time from in-ring action. The only thing that may play in her favor is Alexa Bliss has been in 1 chamber match and has won that match.
Yep.
Bianca Belair, though, on the other hand, she's been in the WrestleMania main event and always wins when it matters most. The opportunity for big things is at stake here. Bianca is headstrong as much as she's physically strong. She will be the standout and the one to watch for. If Bianca loses this match, it will be the brutality and the longevity that is within her favor that will do her in. So for me, if I was going to pick somebody to win, I'd want Bianca Belair to win.
Okay.
But who's going to win? I think Alexa Bliss is going to win because she's just coming back. You can't. I don't think you can beat. There's ways you can beat her, but I don't think they're going to beat her in her first match back.
Okay, so you think you want Bianca to win, but you think Alexa's going to win.
That's correct.
All right. I'm also hot for this match. I love Elimination Chamber. And Tristen, just real quick for the fact check. When you said the 18 women, are you counting the tag team one they had?
Yes.
You are? Okay, so because a lot of those women doubled up and they were also in the match again. So I 100% understand. Awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad they finally allowed women to start competing in this. What was it, 4 or 5 years ago when they finally opened it up and let the women go in? So I'm really excited about that. Again, I'm anxious to see how they do it. I'm anxious to see what kind of stories they want to tell. I'm assuming that probably 1 or 2 WrestleMania matches are going to come out of this chamber match. Probably there's going to be some extending things happening with that. Who I want to win this match and who I think is going to win this match are the same person, and that's Bianca Belair. I'm picking her for both head and heart, and I just think it's the easy choice. I think she won and got the biggest momentum over the gauntlet match on Monday. Now, who got over in that match the most? Rhea Ripley. So Rhea Ripley has made up for a lot of lost ground over the last year and a half or so since coming up to the main roster of getting booked in terrible angles and tag team that made no sense and she was just so lost for a while. But then somewhere in the recent 2 to 3 months, there's been a twinkle in her eye that's clicked. The nightmare's coming back out of her. And I'm really excited to see that because I've missed that Rhea Ripley. And it seems like finally they're like, what do you want to do, Rhea? And she's like, let me go out there and I'll show you what I want to do. And so hopefully that's what's happening. The 25-year-old is getting her steam back. And hopefully she has another great showing inside this match. I do 100% agree. If there was a mid-card championship right now, Liv Morgan should be the one holding it. I think she is that close to breaking through that ceiling. Becky Lynch made her look like $1 million, but she just needs more main event time with main event players. I kind of hope coming out of this that she gets into a blood feud. I need her to get it into someone that's her equal or a little bit better than her, and let her get into a deep-rooted blood feud with somebody so that everybody cares about her, wants to see her beat that person, and when she beats that person, she gets back up into the title picture. That little bit of momentum will help her, I think.
I can't do that much crying in a blood feud, bro. I don't know if I can handle it.
Well, again, and honestly, I think I said this. I said whatever it is, if it was going to be with Becky, I said there needs to be a moment where after getting beat down severely, she comes out in like 2 weeks after being off TV, walks out on that ramp, takes a rag, wipes the tears off, and says, no more crying, B, here I come. And that's the way it needs to be. Change the gimmick, change the character, no more tears, let's get this on. And if she does that, I'll take her a whole another level seriously. So, Alexa, Tristen, you brought up a good point. She's the only girl in this match that's ever won a chamber. But again, she's coming back fresh. She's probably going to go easy especially, it's good grief, it's a chamber match, and she's very injury prone. So I'm sure she's going to go easy and just try to feel things out. She and Nikki have history. They're former tag team champions 2 times together. So that might be the story they want to go. Maybe they come full circle, and at the end of this, it's Nikki and Alexa meeting each other maybe at WrestleMania. If I was booking it, that's what I'd want to see. The wild card in this match is Dewdrop, because good grief, she's Dewdrop. You got to pick her up, you got to slam her. She's powerful. She's got all that stuff going for her to get an advantage in this match. But I want Bianca to win because I want Bianca to get her redemption from SummerSlam. Give me Bianca and Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. Nobody will cheer Becky. Everybody will cheer Bianca. And 2 times in a row, she'll get a main event match at WrestleMania. And 2 times in a row, she will win that main event match at WrestleMania. That's what I want to see. RN, hot, cold, or warm?
I'm hot for this match as well, but I'm going to go the opposite of Tristen. I want Alexa to win, but I think I know that Bianca's going to win. That's the only big money match you really have on the Raw side moving forward for Becky at WrestleMania, and that's what it's all about.
Yep.
Who's going to put asses in seats? Who's the biggest draw? And a lot of these girls, I know we all love at least one of these girls in this match, if not more, but the star of this by far is Bianca. Alexa Bliss is probably my favorite women's wrestler of this era, but Bianca's right there, right behind her. So, like I said, my heart says Alexa, but it's got to be Bianca. Like, I just don't see anybody else that's even ready for Becky in any way but Bianca.
Okay. Will, hot, cold, or warm?
Lukewarm. I feel like this match overall is a tale of two stories. You've got three people that could be champions, could main event WrestleMania, and Ripley, Belair, and Bliss. And then you've got three internet sweethearts in Morgan, Nikki ASH, and Doudrop. With ASH recently making the heel turn, maybe a little bit bottom three on those internet sweethearts.
Right.
But I feel like you hit it on the head. Bama, you said that Liv Morgan needs that mid-card title. She's not quite in that main event picture yet. Doudrop's kind of the same thing. She needs a little bit more traction in the States. She had a huge following in the UK. She's not there, so that checks her off. And then Nikki ASH, I feel like the same thing that you said. This match will have implications for WrestleMania. So we're going to see Rhea Ripley versus Nikki ASH, or maybe an Alexa Bliss versus Nikki ASH. We've got 2 nights of Mania, 2 nights to fill. We're going to get a lot of these mid-card filler matches for Mania because we got to do both nights.
Right.
The other side of it, the 3 champions, Ripley, Belair, and Alexa Bliss. I feel like I want Belair to win, and I feel like she will. And I think if she doesn't, it will be Alexa Bliss.
Okay.
That's going to be the way it is.
So are you like me? You want and think Belair's going to win this?
Yeah, and if somebody does beat her, it will be Alexa Bliss. I don't think any of the other 4 competitors are in that point, with the exception of Rhea Ripley, where they could main event a WrestleMania for a title. I feel like she would be the only wild card in that match, with the exception of Belair and Alexa Bliss.
Let me ask y'all this: based on the therapy and what you guys have seen, this is my take, and you tell me if I'm dead wrong or what you think is going to happen. I think they're going to do a hybrid of Twisted Bliss with where she left off with Lily, because they got a barn full of dolls they got to sell. So maybe she'll always be nearby, but I don't think she's going to be the Bray Wyatt implanted mystique magical weirdo that she's been for the last year. I think we're going back to more of the Twisted Bliss, bones on the fingers kind of.
Right.
I feel like we're going a little bit back towards the goddess. We're going kind of halfway, and I think Twisted Bliss is halfway. To me, that would be a better fit because fans loved that about her. But unfortunately, because they have probably a million Lily dolls they got to sell, then they probably need to have her keep Lily around. But I don't think she's going to be winking or I think that part is gone, especially now with the release of Bray Wyatt. I think they know it's too big of an open wound. They can't keep messing with that. Do y'all agree with me, or do y'all feel like there's something else going on here?
No, I agree, because she even said it herself. Why the hell am I still doing this in Bray's garb? Like, she literally tweeted that herself.
Right.
So I think it's gone. I think we're going to get some flashbacks of it. I don't think it's completely gone, but I think we're going to eventually get to where it's completely gone off of it, doesn't exist anymore.
Look, I'm looking at Lily's merchandise right now, and there isn't much of it that's on clearance. You're still paying $30 for a Lily plush doll. You're still paying $35 for a mask when it was $49. You can get the mask and the doll for $54. I mean, the only thing that's marked down right now is the T-shirt. It's $19.59. And with inflation, it probably, is $1 million shirt. So, I think there's still some steam behind this whole, Lily thing. So, yeah, I mean, you could be right.
All right. Will, what do you think?
I think she's going to, like you were saying, she's going to be a hybrid. I would see something kind of like a dark goddess character where she'll take Twisted Bliss. She'll take a little bit of the Lily character. She'll take the goddess. And it'll just be a combination of the 3. Right. Because they know she's going to be over just about whoever she comes back as. So why not use this opportunity to kind of put the best parts of all 3 of her gimmicks together?
Yep. You know who the biggest casualty is in this match? Rhea Ripley.
Oh, yeah, big time.
They gave her too much too soon. Way too much too soon. She should not have been in that match at WrestleMania. She should not have beat Asuka at WrestleMania. This should have been the WrestleMania she finally takes gold for the first time. Now, we've all said we think Bianca's going to get the shot at Becky. I don't know how out of this match it could be a 3-way and Rhea gets in that match. I don't know how that could possibly happen. I just feel terrible for her. She's right there, and she deserves to be in the main event. I
don't think that's on, honestly, I don't think that's on creative for once. I know we blame creative for a lot, but because they haven't really changed much of her character. It's just that we don't know. She hasn't told us what her character is. Like, we know she's the Nightmare.
Right.
Yes, I was thinking that same thing. We don't know who she is. You know, she's still, and I mean this respectfully, you know, she's still a little bit green. You know, it wasn't what, a year, 2 years ago that, you know, Monday Night Raw is coming, you know, to an end. Yeah. She has to run and make the save, and she's coming out to make her pose. Girl, you don't have time. Get to the ring before they cut the show off, and you're still standing on the stage.
She's the youngest girl in this match, by the way.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, that's what I said. Like, my thing is, like, I never was really as high on her as a lot of people were either since she came over to the States. I was really high on her in UK because you got to see who she was. She told us who she was. She told us what she was going to do. She told us what she was there to do. But, like, since she's been over here, like, we don't know. They just threw the Nightmare shit on her and put some black lipstick on her and was like, this is Rhea Ripley.
Well, and then
we haven't got a promo from her or nothing.
Well, and Hunter's NXT, we knew who she was because she didn't change much. So
that's what but that's what I'm saying. Like, we haven't got the new, like, I hate to even say it, but it's true. But, like, they didn't do anything to introduce her to the people of Raw and SmackDown. No. They just, that the one time they did carry shit over from NXT and they shouldn't have. Right. They didn't give us anything for us to grasp with her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's always been my biggest argument where it's like, who is Rhea Ripley? Yeah. So I'm just praying hopefully they give her something at WrestleMania that's meaningful, because if she's not at WrestleMania, that's a huge casualty. She needs to have a spot at WrestleMania. She deserves it. All right, next match, and I think will be the main event of Elimination Chamber, and that's the men's Elimination Chamber match. We have Matt Riddle. We have Seth freaking Rollins. We have Brock Lesnar, the alpha of our species, as Pat McAfee loves to call him. We have Austin Theory, who is Ms. McMahon's protege and little pet. And we have the phenomenal AJ Styles stepping into the ring with the WWE Champion, the almighty Bobby Lashley. WWE Championship is on the line. Whoever leaves this chamber last will be your WWE Champion. I'm going to start this one. I am white freaking hot for this match. This is going to be a great match. I'm looking forward to the action. I'm looking forward to the stories within it. Once again, what's going to come out of this match? I do think that there's going to be some stuff happening in here that's going to set up matches down the road. I think there's a couple of interesting things that are missing from this match. One being Kevin Owens, and another thing being, who was it? I cannot believe I just forgot the guy's name. Anyway, forget it. It'll hit me in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. in the morning probably. But anyway, but I'm looking forward to, Randy Orton. Randy Orton for Riddle. So there's a little bit of that mixed in there. Riddle's in here, Randy's not. Is that putting any kind of strain on their relationship? Riddle gets a title shot, Randy doesn't. It would be so hilarious to see Riddle walk out WWE Champion. It would be absolutely awesome. I would love to see that happen, but I don't think that's going to happen. Who I want to win this match? Seth Rollins. That's who I want to win. I would love to see Seth win this match, because then if Seth wins this match, then KO can renew that little Festival of Friendship angle and say, yay, you're the champion. Now give me my shot. So, and that way we could have a little breakdown of that, and we can get KO versus Seth for the title at WrestleMania, which should be great. Who I think is going to win this match? The writing's been on the wall for 2 months. Brock Lesnar's going to wreck this chamber. He's going to get that title back. He's going to go face Roman at WrestleMania, title versus title. They hopefully will consolidate them into a WWE championship. And then when that happens, the mid-card can get elevated, because while Roman's messing with the dude on Raw, SmackDown can be heating up a champion, and then that person can fight Roman, and then vice versa. So therefore, your cards get elevated, everything matters, and that one champion can be on both shows. Everybody's going to want to tune into Raw and SmackDown because Roman's going to be there. And hopefully, with all this being said, the U.S. title and the Intercontinental Championship will actually mean something again, because if you're the A champion on that show, when you finally lose it, that means because you were just champion, you probably are going to get a shot at the top guy. And that will set up future storylines. So I hope that's what happens. I'm tired of two belts. I want this belt combined into one, and I think Roman and Brock will do it. And when we get to WrestleMania preview in a month, we'll talk about that storyline when we get there. But so I want Seth, but I think Brock's going to win it. RN, hot, cold, or warm? Flaming hot as well. This match actually has my 3 favorite people in the company in it, and Seth Rollins, Riddle, and Austin Theory. But I've been saying this to y'all on this show since the summer, that they're going to do a title unification match and that it'll be champion versus champion. I've literally been saying it since Brock's been back.
Yep.
I can't go back on it now. Like I said, I want anybody but him to win. Like I'd take anybody in the match to win, honestly, especially Riddle. But Brock Lesnar's winning. This is going to be. I mean, like I said, I've literally been calling this since the summer, so I can't turn back on it now when it's about to happen. So
yeah. Can you guys imagine if they had stuck to the script? Riddle was supposed to win the Rumble.
Yeah,
and
I would have loved to see him versus Brock.
Yep, that would have been. And that's the thing. If this happens and the titles get consolidated, if Roman comes over to both shows, Riddle can get Roman's face, and I would love to see that interaction. Can you imagine Paul Heyman talking with Riddle and be like, "What are you on, kid?" I would love it.
The only thing is, I don't think any of that's going to happen. It's too fucking logical, Bama. Like I love everything you're saying. It's the smart way to go, but it's too fucking logical, and we know that is not what WWE doesn't deal with logic.
I know, but it just feels. And when you guys talk, if you want to add on to this, please. But it just feels like they know they've got a problem, that Roman is outshining the other champion, and they want to get equal ratings, and the only way to appease USA and Fox is, okay, look, we're going to get rid of the champion on one of the shows, but we promise you the champion will be on both shows every single week. You will have your title on both shows every single week. We will heat up the other challengers, and he will compete or be involved in some way on both shows every single week. If they can get that by the networks, they can have it. Because let's be honest, the only reason why there are two champions on these two shows is because the networks want a champion. That's all.
That's why I don't think it's going to happen. Because they're still never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough.
Like I said, you're probably right. However, if they promise, because look, guys, it's Roman. Roman draws ratings. People want Roman because it's Roman. I think they'll let it happen, and I hope they'll let it happen. Will, hot, cold, or warm?
I'm hot on this match. Agree with pretty much everything you guys are saying. The obvious writing on the Raws for Lesnar to go with Reigns at the WrestleMania. I feel like the unification has been there for a long time to build up to it. I feel like one promotion having 4 heavyweight titles is too much.
Crazy.
Granted, 2 of them are in developmental or however you want to look at NXT and NXT UK, but I still feel like 4 heavyweight titles for one promotion is too much. There's 6 tag team titles floating around, 4 or 5 mid-card titles. I feel like if we tighten it up and condense it, then that's the direction it needs to go. Everything you said, Dave, about building the mid-cards back up, getting a chance to build superstars. Looking at the match right now, though, I feel like it's really similar to the women's side. You got 3 guys that are super popular that you know could win but probably won't, and then 3 guys that have every shot in the world to win it. Lashley, Lesnar, and Styles, I feel like 3 guys at any point could walk out with the win.
Really?
Rollins, Theory, and Riddle. Yeah. I feel like Rollins, Theory, and Riddle are crowd favorites. They're easy to get over and good pop.
I'm just curious why you're not putting Seth as 4 guys that could easily win this match. I feel like Seth's angle building up to WrestleMania isn't going to be him in a title picture. And reasons why when I get to the person I'm picking versus the person that I want. Right. Okay.
The person that I'm picking to win is Lesnar. And the reason why I said I want AJ Styles to win, he's one of my favorite guys currently in the company, but I also feel like he's due for that last push because he said he wants to retire WWE guy. We know that's what he wants. So I feel like this might be that chance for them to give him a shot at the title, to main event a WrestleMania, go out at the top, and then kind of AJ Styles right off into the distance because they don't want him to go somewhere else.
Right.
Because he wasn't a WWE guy to start. And if he retires one, then they pretty much solidify themselves as being like, hey, we got Styles to come on board. We got to do it. So it's one of those, I feel like if he's going to get the push, it'll be now, but I feel like it's going to be Lesnar in the long run.
I definitely like that, and I agree with you. I think AJ's got one more championship run in him. I just don't think it's going to be in the real near future. But I think it might be around this time next year. He'll probably be in that picture for sure. Tristan, hot, cold, or warm, sir?
Man, I am hotter than a mug for this match. AJ Styles is the one to keep your eye on because when you compare him to the other competitors in the match, he has the most Elimination Chamber appearances at 3.
Yes,
this is only for the people in the match. Okay. Although AJ's never won an Elimination Chamber match, he may have finally unlocked the code to winning. The WWE champion Bobby Lashley has the best Elimination chamber record out of all the men in the chamber with him. Bobby Lashley's been in one Elimination Chamber match, and
he won it. Yep.
You know, I'm sure they'll never talk about it because December to December it never happened, right?
No, they talked about it. He said it on Raw. They talked about it.
Okay. Well, not everybody watches Raw. Bobby Lashley's been in one. He's only won one, like I said. You know, but the only difference between that Elimination Chamber match and this Elimination Chamber match is that he didn't have an angry Brock Lesnar waiting at the helm to eat him alive. Seth Rollins, on the other hand, he's been in one Elimination Chamber match, and he's never eliminated a soul, nor has he won an Elimination Chamber match. But this time, Seth is different. He's playing mind games. Will he be able to get into the head of the other men and secure the win? Everyone has their eyes on Brock Lesnar. Yes, he's got a lot riding in the match, but he, Riddle, and Austin Theory have one thing in common. What is it?
They've never been in this match before.
They've never been in an Elimination Chamber match at any time. And the real question here is, will Brock Lesnar prove that he really is the beast, or will his inexperience in the Elimination Chamber get the best of him? So who do I want to win? Man, who I want to win? I like Bobby Lashley to win because a lot of people might not understand this, but it's nice to have some representation at the top. You know, to have somebody, you know, that looks like me, because there's some little kid out there that might see that and go, wow, maybe I can get to WrestleMania one day as well.
Yeah.
Who's probably going to win? Brock Lesnar's definitely probably going to win.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And ideally, like I said, I love Seth, and so he would be great. I love AJ Styles, but Bobby Lashley keeping this belt and setting up for a challenger at WrestleMania would be so good. But again, that's two separate champions. But if they are going to swerve us, it's going to be this one. Because Brock already has his title match at Roman. So if they're going to swerve us, it's going to be this one where Bobby keeps it. Or
I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Like I don't want but I've been calling I've been saying that they're going to unify the titles at Mania literally since probably September or August. Like I just seen the writing on the wall, especially when Brock came back and then they won when he just automatically got thrown into the championship. I mean, it was pretty much the easiest thing for him to do, and the best way for him to do it and not get any real shit about it is because he had to, because Roman wasn't there. So
which is weird to me. So COVID stops that match. Brock gets put into the picture to win the belt, and then they use that as a way for, you know, to put Paul back with Roman at Royal Rumble. So if Brock and Roman's match had happened, are we not talking about title unification? I can't think of how else they would have put it on him.
Right,
so,
exactly.
Yeah. All right, let me throw this one out to you. What match is going to end up being match of the night?
Probably the chamber match because it's got so much riding on it.
Which one, women's or men's?
Men's.
Okay.
Men's chamber for sure.
I think both chamber matches. See, like when I wrestle, I always come out and no matter, like, look, if you don't put me in the main event, I want to come out there and try to have the match of the night. The ladies have a lot to prove in this match, in their Elimination Chamber match. So, like, if they go on before the men, it's going to be like, good luck, guys. Follow this.
Yep. I'm also interested to see, for storyline reasons, where the women's chamber match is and where Lita and Becky's match is, because that has to hinge off each other. I think probably Lita and Becky will go on before it, because then there's only pressure of, okay, who's going to face Becky? We all think it's Becky. So then who's going to face Becky at the end of it? And then whoever wins, Becky can walk out of the ramp, hold the belt up, and say, I'll see you at Mania, kind of thing. So I agree. I think wholeheartedly, I agree with you guys. I think both chamber matches are going to be the ones to definitely pick. Now, which non-chamber match I really think is going to surprise people how good it's going to be? Becky and Lita. I really think people are going to be shocked at how good Lita has still able to get back. Have you been watching her training videos? She ain't taking this lightly. She is really stretching herself. And Becky's in the best shape of her career, and she looks phenomenal. Her MMA training that she's put on herself is. I'm actually really excited to see what this match looks like. If Lita says she has one more run left in her, then that also means maybe she has a WrestleMania match, non-title, with somebody on the horizon. So we'll see what happens there. And there's so many things that are happening. Sasha's not on this pay-per-view. What's going on with her? We've all said, where's Bayley? Where's Asuka? Where's Lacey? You know, okay, let's talk about this right now. I know WrestleMania season's not here yet, but let's talk about this right now. Kevin Owens is dissing the state of Texas. His finishing move is the stunner. Are they really going to give us KO and Stone Cold?
I don't think it's going to be a match. I think they're going to have an altercation.
I agree. It's not going to be a match. It's going to be a moment.
Yep. Do y'all want that, or is this again going deep into the well for a moment, or is this one okay with y'all?
This is different though. For WrestleMania, like I don't mind a moment. Like I said, like I don't want matches. I don't want them in title pictures. Like I don't care if there's a match against a young guy that they got to put over. I'm okay with that. I don't think my argument is they shouldn't be at the top of the card.
Right. Okay.
Agreed. Yeah, 100%. I don't feel like if you're going to bring a Hall of Famer in, I don't like to compare it to what CM Punk is doing in AEW, but come in, work with young guys, help get them over. I feel like that's more of what the legends need to be doing. They 100%. Need to stay out of the title picture completely.
100%.
I wouldn't put CM Punk in that legend category just yet, though.
No. Just comparing to what he does.
Right.
When he went over to AEW, he's coming in to help put over young talent. That's what the WWE needs to use their legends for.
Yep.
But in order for that moment, if they're not doing a match, in order for that moment to work just right, we can't know. Like Stone Cold needs to be snuck in like 5 minutes before his segment.
Yep.
Glass breaks. He comes down, stuns the crap out of Kevin Owens, and then leaves.
Yep.
That's it. That's
not going to happen. They're going to announce it 16 weeks before it happens.
Right.
They better.
Comes out, stuns the crap out of him, drinks some beer, pours some beer in him. Yeah, and then walks out.
They better not. He better run him down every single week. I hope KO calls him out and says, "I'll be in the ring, Stone Cold. If you got the guts, I dare you to show up and come down to this ring." And just when he's about to get out of the ring and walk back up the ramp, glass breaks. That's
and beats him back to the ring.
Yes,
Stuns him.
yes, yes, 100%. Matter of fact, I would open with that. I would let that be what kicks off WrestleMania with the rattlesnake, is what I would do. 100%. All right. Well, guys, again, thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. This has been our Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, or excuse me, premier live event preview. We're going to have to take a while to get used to that, but I appreciate you guys coming on. And once again, if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to click that bell so every time we post a new video, you get notified immediately. We're putting out content every single week. If you are watching us live on Twitch, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. Subscribe, follow, click the bell on Twitch, twitch.tv/SmackDraw. Excuse me. And if you're listening on a podcast, give us a comment, 5-star review, listen to us, subscribe on whatever podcast platform you prefer. Mr. RN, put yourself over, sir. What's going on with me, Jelly Bean? When's the next Mute RN dropping? And what's going on with the dog kennel business, sir?
We should have the next Mute RN. The next few episodes should be dropping here this week. Like I said, I got a couple pups for sale. Follow us on IG, Route 4 Kennel. Follow us on YouTube to see some of our comedy videos and music videos we put out. Mean Jelly Bean Productions, Mean Jelly Bean Memes on Facebook, and of course Mr. 8984 on Twitter. Hit me up. I want the smoke.
Awesome. Mr. Chef Will Gray, what's going on the Botched and Chair Shots podcast, and where can we find you on social media, sir?
All right, guys, follow us, Botch Spots and Chair Shots, on all social media platforms. Remember to like, subscribe, unsubscribe, subscribe again. Leave a comment telling us how great we are, how terrible we sound. Either way, it helps the algorithm. Check out the blogs for my candid takes on what's going on in the world of wrestling, and the episodes where we give our lukewarm to hot takes on what we do, mixing in a little food and pop culture references, so we still get over.
Awesome. And Mr. Tristen Law, sir, put yourself over. Where can we find you on social media? What's going on with the Tristen Law Show? And where can we watch you wrestle, sir?
Well, if you want to know anything about me, you can find me at The Real Big Tris on Instagram and Twitter. The Tristen Law Show, new episodes drops every Wednesday at 9 a.m., whether it's on YouTube or it's wherever you find a podcast. Just go to TristenLawShow.com. Look, I'm not going to sit here and ask anybody to subscribe or share or like. All I'm saying is give me the same energy you give all those famous people, right? Support your independent content creators. I don't have loads of money behind me, right? I don't sit in a studio. I sit right here in a corner in my living room, and I create that content for you. Support me. And if you don't like me, tell me why you don't like me so I can fix it, right? And because all I want to do is create content, because it's humbling that people come by every Wednesday at 9 a.m. or sometime during the week and they consume the content, consume our content, right? I'm not in competition with none of the other gentlemen on this podcast, right? So you can consume my content and then consume theirs after.
Absolutely.
And that's all we ask you for. Give us that same energy. And if you want to find out where I'm wrestling, hey, just follow me on Instagram and Twitter at The Real Big Tris. And I always post up there when I'm wrestling. Yep.
Awesome. And you can follow me at BamaDave24. You can follow the show at Bammer Slammer. And you can follow our brand at Smacked Raw Pod on Twitter. We again appreciate it. Thank you, RN. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Tristen. I appreciate you guys giving up your time tonight to preview. This has been our Elimination Chamber. Check your temperature. Until the next time we drop the hammer, we'll see you next time here on the Bammer Slammer. Have a good night, everybody.